The best thing about Bitcoin is that most of the people who are going to lose a lot of money are young, and they got plenty of time to earn it back, and it's going to be a valuable lesson that people learn that they can carry into their older years, the memory of all the money they lost in Bitcoin.
Could it possibly be you that learns the lesson?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Warren Buffett is wrong. Maybe a lot of smart investors, maybe we all got it wrong and you guys got it right. I don't think that's the case. But, I suppose anything is possible.
In a whirlwind turn of events on Tuesday, Bitcoin soared to unprecedented heights, breaking through the $73,000 barrier for the first time in its history. This momentous ascent, however, was swiftly followed by a sudden downturn, with Bitcoin plunging nearly 6% from its peak levels before a slight recovery. With the crypto asset currently making headlines, many investors are wondering what will happen next. Will Bitcoin crash, become the bubble that some have assumed it to be, or will it continue to grow and evolve, becoming an innovation that will disrupt financial systems as we know them? A recent debate between expert investors Raoul and Peter Schiff has brought these questions to light. In their contrasting discussion, Peter expresses skepticism about Bitcoin's value proposition. He argues that if Bitcoin doesn't have an actual use beyond being bought and sold, then it's akin to a Ponzi scheme or chain letter, relying solely on people's belief in its value rather than intrinsic worth. He compares it to historical pyramid schemes and questions its sustainability in the long term. Raoul, on the other hand, defends Bitcoin by highlighting its potential as a store of value and its utility in solving real-world financial problems. He argues that while belief does play a role in Bitcoin's value, it also has tangible properties such as scarcity and the ability to serve as a medium for various technological applications, particularly within blockchain technology. Let us now view some clips from the interview as the two opposites share their insights regarding Bitcoin's future and overall worth. As we show you these clips, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Make sure to watch the video until the end as Raoul and Peter Schiff's ultimate Bitcoin debate progresses. We hope you enjoy the video.
My premise is that if Bitcoin doesn't have an actual use beyond my giving it to somebody else or selling it to somebody else, whatever, other than as a potential exchange, if its only use is I can buy it and sell it to somebody else who buys it and sells it to somebody else, it's a Ponzi, it's a pyramid, it's a chain letter. There are a lot of ways to describe what this is, and they've been doing this for hundreds of years. Right? It's not new. All that's new is the digital part, but all the other factors have been tried and over and over again. It's just a modern version of this, and it's going to end the same way that in all these prior pyramid schemes have fallen apart. Bitcoin is purely a function of your belief, of confidence. It's a giant con game. As long as we all believe it has value, then it can have a price and people will want it. But the question is, can you put your faith in that confidence enduring over time? That in the future, people will be just as infatuated and hold these beliefs just as strongly. People are infatuated with it now because it's gone up and people have gotten rich and there's all this money being pumped into it. But who's to say that that's going to be the case in the future? I think a lot of money is going to be lost in Bitcoin. In fact, far more people are going to lose money in Bitcoin than have made money in Bitcoin.
Just so we clarify something, the physical property here is actually the physical property of the blockchain itself. The reason this goes up so fast is not because of mania, it's because it's an adoption of a technology, it's Metcalfe's law. So what you're finding is networks, as they gain adoption, price gets a bit crazy. Now, in 20 years' time, will Bitcoin price be as crazy? Highly unlikely, because it gets to maturity and it looks more like a mature asset. So people get confused. What we're doing here is saying what Bitcoin's price is doing is saying, yes, there's the element of memetics. It has this scarce value. Nothing in the digital world has scarcity. So this is interesting for humanity. Now, we may say today, or we would have said a year ago, well, Bitcoin blockchain is not very useful. But now we've started to see these ordinals and inscriptions, which is using the blockchain for other things. We're seeing other use cases of layer 2s built on Bitcoin. there's more incentivization in a network, the more people that invest in it or join it to create other use cases, i.e. there's money around. And I'm an investor at core. My job is really, to also make money out of trends. I'm trying to better my future, as we all are. And so, yes, I believe in the philosophy. That's how I got into it. I saw that this was probably a better answer for many of the issues within the financial system. Not for gold per se. Gold is fine. It'll continue being gold. I have no issue with that. But it just seemed to me that this was something that was going to solve the philosophical and the real problems of the financial system, the real core of it. Who owns what in an overly indebted society? It's going to really do something there. And so, if I can make money out of a solution, well, of course I will.
The discussion between Schiff and Pal represents a larger conversation about Bitcoin in the digital community. Skeptics like Schiff doubt if Bitcoin's value can last, saying it relies too much on speculation. But supporters like Pal view Bitcoin as a groundbreaking asset with special qualities that could change finance. Despite their differing viewpoints, both Schiff and Pal agreed on one point: Bitcoin's volatility and uncertain future. While Schiff warned of the risks inherent in speculative assets like Bitcoin, Pal emphasized the potential rewards, citing Bitcoin's unparalleled risk-adjusted returns and transformative capabilities. Let us now return to the interview, where the two professionals continue to discuss their contrasting investment perspectives.
Which is why, to me, when I simplify everything down, I just say this is the best macro opportunity of all time. We've got the best risk-adjusted return asset that has the highest performance of any asset in history. It's being adopted at the fastest rate.
You're looking in the rearview mirror. It may not look that way in the future. In fact, it's more likely to revert to the mean or way below the mean. Seems like if it's gone up so much in the past, there's a lot of risk that it's going to go down. I think you're ignoring that.
You see, all of these, like NASDAQ, and you're probably a bear of the NASDAQ too, but all of these things are secular trends in a logarithmic chart because they're secular trends. They're not cyclical. This is not the commodity
Bitcoin
world.
Bitcoin hasn't been around long enough to be a secular anything. It's been around for 12, 13 years, and really it's been around, in the eye of investors for a much shorter time period, maybe 5 years.
I mean, I've been investing since 2012, so I'm 12 years into this.
Yeah, but most Wall Street hasn't been into it that long. They got into it really, 2000 time frame, around there. After it really went up, they kind of got interested in it. They weren't looking at it back then.
Well, that makes me even more bullish, right? That makes me even more bullish if they haven't really adopted it yet.
No, they're in it. What do you mean? They're in it. Like, they got all these ETFs now. They're in it. They've been promoting it. They've been touting it. There's been Bitcoin commercials now for years. I mean, the top advertisers on cable TV are crypto companies. I mean, they're pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping and spending a lot of money to try to con the public into buying this stuff. And so, they've suckered a lot of people in, but there's a limit to how much longer they're going to be able to do it. You can't do it forever. The bottom is going to drop out, And as far as the NASDAQ, look, I mean, there's a lot of liquidity. There's a lot of inflation. It's been driving tech stocks higher. I'm not short these stocks. I mean, I think the market could go up because I think the dollar is going to go down. But at least in the tech stocks, a lot of these companies are real businesses. They may be overvalued, but they have some value. You mentioned a lot of companies that you say have networks like Tesla or Apple, but they make a ton of money selling products, right? I got a lot of Apple products myself. Apple is earning a lot of money. You can argue about what the price of the shares should be, but you can't argue that there's a valuable business there. But with Bitcoin, there is no business. It's nothing. It's like, in sales that, they say sell the sizzle, not the steak. Well, in Bitcoin, there is no steak. It's just sizzle. So it's all being hyped up. The best thing about Bitcoin is that most of the people who are going to lose a lot of money are young, and they got plenty of time to earn it back, and it's going to be a valuable lesson that people learn that they can carry into their older years, the memory of all the money they lost in Bitcoin.
Could it possibly be you that learns the lesson?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Warren Buffett is wrong. Maybe a lot of smart investors, maybe we all got it wrong and you guys got it right. I don't think that's the case. But, I suppose anything is possible.
In the end, debates about Bitcoin are still ongoing among many investors. As cryptocurrency continues to evolve and gain mainstream acceptance, investors and observers alike will continue to grapple with fundamental questions about its value and viability. Whether Bitcoin ultimately proves to be a fad or a revolutionary force remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the debate will rage on as the world of finance adapts to the digital age. Meanwhile, amidst all the excitement about Bitcoin's surge, some analysts are warning of a potential pre-halving correction. Pseudonymous analyst Rekt Capital points to previous cycles, noting a 20% pre-halving correction in 2020 and a 38% retracement before the 2016 halving. Rekt Capital anticipates the possibility of a retracement lasting up to 77 days, though it may be less severe than in previous cycles. Despite pullbacks of 18% in January and 14% in early March, the analyst suggests that any pre-halving correction this time around may be relatively shallow. However, this cycle has already shown deviations from historical norms. Unlike previous cycles, Bitcoin has already reached a new all-time high before the halving. Additionally, it has yet to catch up to its growth trajectory from past halving cycles, with historical data suggesting a potential price range of $100,000 to $300,000 per coin. Despite the potential for a correction, some analysts remain bullish on Bitcoin's long-term prospects. Wealth management firm Bernstein expects Bitcoin to break out to around $150,000 following the halving by mid-2025. The firm's analysts attribute their optimism to the elevated demand for spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, which have seen significant inflows since their launch. With Bitcoin ETF inflows already nearing their 2025 estimates within the first few months of 2024, Bernstein's analysts believe that the cryptocurrency's price could continue to rise in the coming years. As the debates over Bitcoin's future intensify, investors are advised to monitor market developments closely and proceed with caution in the face of potential volatility. Whether Bitcoin will experience a pre-halving correction remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the cryptocurrency's journey is far from over. What are your thoughts on the discussion between Raoul Pal and Peter Schiff? With whom do you agree? Share your insights in the comments. If you found this video useful, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to our channel for more valuable content on cryptocurrencies and finance. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in our next videos. As always, happy investing.